Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
EICCA.
Sorry to be a little bit late. We had some technical issues with the previous one.
No problem, man. How are you, man?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing? How is Mexico?
Mexico is great, a little bit hot. The winter is almost end and the spring is already, but we are great here. How are you there?
Very good. It's almost spring here as well, but it's very cold still. It's maybe 2 degrees at the moment.
Okay.
So
Well,
it's
I'm in Argentina. We're talking from
Okay.
different places, and I'm sure you won't remember, but we talked, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years ago when Apocalyptica was about to come to Argentina. We had an interview, but it was on the phone in that time.
okay.
So it's nice
Great.
to see you again, and it's nice to have you here on Headbangers Latinoamerica from all our audience. And thank you for your time, Meika. We are really happy to have you here.
I'm happy to be here. So
Thanks. So tell us, since Shadow Maker, how was your reunion again with Frankie, with working again with music, with this so especially vocal that he had? How was to get again with him and make some new music between this COVID situation and this now war situation? How is to work with him again?
yeah, of course, it's great to work with Frankie. We didn't stop working with Frankie because it wasn't fun. It was because of the anniversary tour with the place Metallica by Four Cellos, and because there was no singer on that. And now Frankie came up with the song. He got the song. He was meeting with the songwriter Diane Warren. They met together with Geezer Butler and Frankie and Diane Warren, and she gave the song to Frankie, and they started to think with Geezer that this is the song that I would love to do with Apocalyptica. And he contacted us then to if we would like to do the song, and of course the song is great and it was so cool. And now, of course, I'm super excited that we are starting the North American tour next week, and Frankie is going to be the singer for the whole tour again. So it's going to be great times. He's an amazing guy.
This is not the first time that Diane do something for Apocalyptica.
No, on Seventh Symphony, before when I was writing songs for Seventh Symphony, I was in LA and I went to meet Diane Warren, and she was playing me some songs, and she had like this big production demos, almost remade, like made songs. She was playing. I didn't really feel those for Apocalyptica, but then she was playing me. Like, I have one song, but I haven't not demoed it. And she was singing and playing in the small office room with the piano. And I was like, no, this song has something special. And I was like, okay, we will have a look if we can turn it into an Apocalyptica song. And so we this is the second time we are recording a song by Diane Warren, which is a great honor because she's an amazing songwriter, and she's behind the countless great hits.
Yeah, and also the songs that he writes is like more to be forward, to keep going, to be like stronger. I mean, but in this song you work with Greaser Bloodbutter of Black Sabbath. How was to work? I mean, you have bass, you have strong strings, you have cellos, and also like this melodical voice, Frankie voice, and then you mix it up. It's like hard, it's like strong, but also it's melancholic, and it's awesome, wonderful. How can you do this mixture between the strongest of the bass, of Black Sabbath bass and Apocalyptica cellos and the voices with this letter?
In general, we are very flexible and we are very good on adapting ourselves into different circumstances. So this wasn't so far from what we do regularly with the vocal songs, that the vocals are always, they take their space. It's obvious when there is vocals in the song, that's kind of on the main focus. That's something you can't do anything about. And of course we wanted to we wanted to leave a good room and good space for Geezer Butler, because his bass playing, his bass track is incredible, and we were more like we always like when we collaborate with different people, we take some inspiration from them, you know, how they do, and also this song is as it is, kind of. So you get the feeling when you listen to the song that it's like, okay, where this song wants to go, and then you do your best to bring it there, you know, to reach the goal. But we did a lot of modifications, like a transposing to the cello part in the mid section, you know, like make a transposition for there, and we wanted to kind of have it like, maybe the reference for us was a little bit like some of our old songs, these big ballads, rock ballads, to have this dark, big sound with some beauty, so that it combines this raw elements and this little bit darker mood with some beautiful and also some hopeful. You know, in these times we need music that has some hope. Even the lyric is saying that it's gonna take a lifetime. I'll get through it. It's gonna take a lifetime, kind of meaning that the singer is never going to get through it, whatever has happened. But but still, it has some kind of positive feeling of that. That okay, I'm not giving up, even it feels like that I'm never going to get over this. Because I think the song it's not necessarily a lump song. It can be about the person losing, somebody's dying, you know, that my life lost meaning, and even it feels like it's impossible to get over it. I'm going to try, you know, I will fight all my life to get over it. So it's kind of this combination of this depressed, dark, hopeless feel, with still kind of being determined that, okay, I'm still, you know, there's still a chance, so I'm gonna fight for it.
It's like inspirational. I mean, yes. Go, Ruben.
EICCA, there's something. It's very cute, strange. I don't know how to say it, because you started as just a 4-piece band for cellos and nothing more, and then you started to add some guest musicians. And how is it the work in I guess is production, I guess, to make that Apocalyptica, even changing the styles, adding some guests, you always sound like Apocalyptica. This is something I don't know how you do it.
I think every musician has or composer has a tendency to repeat themselves, and we are always trying to find out new ways to do. We try to challenge ourselves to find new ways to do, not to go the easiest way, not to always do like, okay, this is how we know, this is how it goes. You know, that's what many bands do, that they repeat themselves and they are not challenging themselves to kind of to find a new perspective where to approach the music. And that's what we do. But of course, because it's us, there is, even we would try to do electro or something, that there is still some Apocalyptica soul in it. Like a good example is the song Riot Lights from Shadowmaker album. It has this influences from electronic music, but it still sounds like super Apocalyptica. Even it's very untypical Apocalyptica song. I think it's the flavor of the colors that kind of and of course the cello sound is, it has this certain color that when we have that in every song, that kind of connects the songs, even we are jumping from style to another. I think that's the secret. But for us, I think creativity in general, it requires a challenge. If there's no challenge, or if there is no passion to learn something new, it kind of loses the intense feeling on it. And for us, it's like, that's why we are looking very positively into the future because we are super motivated. We are like, yeah, we want to do something else now. We want to do something. We want to learn how to do this, which we don't know yet how to do it. So it's about creating that kind of goals. Sometimes we release songs like this latest single that is not the most innovative thing, but there is coming, like, it's more like a more safe Apocalyptica, that how we are known to be heard, sound like. It's closer to that. But now the next release, which is, I think that's going to be somewhere in May, that's going to be something totally different. But it's more, it's not like we are trying to surprise our fans and audience, but it's like we want to challenge ourselves and surprise ourselves, to always take something that we thought in the past probably that, okay, we can't do it, or it's somehow forbidden for us. Then over the time we are like, fuck that, we have, why not to do it, why not to try it, like. And the next release is something like that.
And I think that's like the main character of Apocalyptica, that Apocalyptica wants to work all the time on the present, you know, try to keep in forward, but work on the present and what it's now Apocalyptica living, if it's working with covers, with a collaboration, or with new music, I mean.
Yeah, we want to stay up to date. It's also our own personal interest. They change. The world is changing. Everything is evolving, and I think the best way to survive in this world is to evolve yourself and kind of update your visions and not to get stuck on what you learned in the past. There's always something new to learn and something more to learn and achieve. But it's important to do what feels right at the moment, to be present at the same time, not to look too far into the future, not to be stuck on the past, kind of actualize that, what do we feel now? What feels exciting now? Because if we are not excited about the music we do, how can we make anybody else excited about it?
Yes, that's true.
Well,
and that applies to life in general, I think, you know, in all personal life and personal choices. You know, if we are not present, we are losing the momentum.
Of course.
But talking about the past, around 30 years ago, I guess you were still in Sibelius, I guess, maybe. You were starting with the band almost like just for fun, I guess, playing in some parties and campings and things like that. Did you ever thought in that moment that you will do everything you did with Apocalyptica? Can you believe the long road you've taken?
Definitely not. You know, when we did the first album, we had no expectation. We were not a band. We were just the four friends, classical cello players who loved metal, and we were asked to do an album after one live performance. And so we had no goals. We were thinking for the first album, if we sell 1,000 copies of the album and we get few gigs, that's great. That was our expectation. So it suddenly kind of started to suck us into the rock world step by step. And it was all the time so exciting and interesting. We found out that, okay, we can develop this, we can get this better, we can learn this and that. And that's, so I could have never imagined that we would be around still 26 years later. How many years did you say? It's terribly long.
Long time ago. We can resume later. Do you have any plans to make a musical video from this single with Greaser, with Frankie? Do you have some plans?
Yes, I'm actually supposed to, after I've done with the interviews, to check the cut of it. So it's soon to be ready.
Okay, great. So we are going to see Greaser there. We will be so excited to look all these bass strings together with the Black Sabbath, with Apocalyptica. Wow, they will be so great. We were so excited to look that.
Yeah, I think hopefully it's next week or week after it's going to be out. Hopefully.
We'll be patient.
EICCA, you know, you left me thinking, when did you start to be called Apocalyptica?
Just when the first album was going into print. So before that, we didn't have a name. And when we were releasing the album, we figured out we need to figure out some name. And actually, it was the guy the record company guy who had his one-man company, small label, and he came up with the name. And it's Apocalyptica because we were doing only one album. That was the plan. And that's why it's so connected to Metallica. Apocalyptica plays Metallica by four cellos. So that was the main reason why it's Apocalyptica, that it was only for the one album. But it's a good name. Nobody, most of the people can't pronounce it, but in Latin America, people are very good at pronouncing it. But if you try to go to somewhere else, English-speaking countries, they're
But I guess you can have been more stranger for being a cellist. You were playing hard rock and heavy metal music. You didn't have a name. Is it usual there in Finland, this kind of things?
So common.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But it wasn't that super weird. I think in the mid of 90s in Finland, we had quite open-minded field. There was, for example, I think it was 95, a Finnish band called Valtari. They made this piece with the Avanti Orchestra, Symphony Orchestra, this death metal symphony, like this. I think it's a black metal symphony in deep sea or something it's called. And so that kind of things were happening, and it wasn't super rare that the different genres were collaborating. So I think the atmosphere in Helsinki in mid 90s was pretty open-minded, but nobody was that far as we were. We had the six cello group. I was a member of that as well before Apocalyptica already. And we were playing with six cellos. We were playing all kind of stuff up to Jimi Hendrix. And that was kind of the point when I was 93. I was thinking, okay, if we can play Purple Haze with cellos, why couldn't we play For Whom the Bell Tolls? And I started to do the arrangements, and I was just hanging up with the guys who were into metal then, and that's how all started. But nowadays it seems to be very common that cello and violin players they do all kind of things, which is super cool, I think.
I'm curious that you like to collaborate with a lot of artists and musicians. Have you ever think to collaborate with some Latin American musicians with voice, with instrument? I don't know, someone that you would like to collaborate?
No, I haven't dived so deep into that world. There are some thoughts that we could do something, some more local collaborations. We've been discussing with some Mexican artists a long time ago about doing something, and we had this one. We made this one version of this Solo 2, I think was the song called, with this Mexican artist. Now I can't recall his name because I never met him, so I can't recall his name. But it's always possible. I would like to collaborate with Astor Piazzolla, but I think unfortunately it's not possible.
That will happen. Well, and if it happens, please let me know. It will be something really, really strange.
I think everybody will hear about that, if that would happen.
Well,
I love his music, and I love like Heitor Villa-Lobos, and I love even Gypsy Kings. I don't know where they are from, but
Spain.
They're from Spain, and so I like a lot of Latin music, and I've been locked in Mexico for holidays in Yucatan, and I met a lot of musicians there who play this really cool hybrid music that has this kind of flavors of Latin American music mixed with other styles, and so there's a lot of cool stuff there.
Great.
EICCA, is there a question that you are tired to hear that question that when they ask you, you say, "Oh no, not again." Is there something like that?
No, I have kind of teach myself not to get annoyed. but there were times that because it was always formulated the same way. It was like, how did you come up with the idea to play Metallica by 4 cellos?
Mm-hmm.
That was the question I answered thousands of times. And after 15, 20 years, I started to get a little bit bored. I was like always like, after all these years, when the interview started with that question, I was like, oh shit, this is where we start. Because after having a longer career and doing a lot of interviews, you kind of want to keep on going where you are at. And you know that the interviewer has a little overview of the perspective, you know, what has happened, you know, that has been is aware of the development. But then when I realized that the interviewer basically knows the first album, and that's the most fascinating thing, then I'm kind of like, well, you know, when I'm in the spirit, I want to talk about the new album and new music because I'm excited about that. And fuck the past, you know, I don't care about what happened in '96.
Of course. Yeah.
But I teach myself like, okay, breathe and get excited.
Yeah, because musicians used to say that when a new album comes out, maybe sometimes they're already tired to hear it. For us, the fans, it's something really new, but for the musician, it's almost old. I can even imagine how should the musician feel about something that more than 20 years ago.
Yes, move on.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And of course, sometimes when there's an approach that we are kind of approached as a cover band, then it's like, yeah, we have released how many albums? 7 albums with our own music, and we just talk about covers.
Yeah.
So, but it is what it is. So I kind of decided to accept that. I can't expect everybody to, you know, be aware of everything.
Must be hard.
And now you are going to a tour on the United States, right? Are you ready for this new tour? Now, between this COVID situation now, do you think that tours are going to change a little bit? Do you think you're going to be tours differently because of these COVID restrictions, or do you expect something different for that?
I'm not expecting anything because the COVID has teased that there's nothing is sure upfront. So now I'm strongly going to America next week with the high hopes of playing a tour finally. But I don't know. Of course, we need to moderate the meet and greets and that kind of stuff, how we meet people, and we need to be more careful, of course, on the tour, not to get this tour stopped because we get sick. But I don't know. It's impossible to predict that how the regulations in different countries are, and of course we need to go all the time with the regulations, and things can still change. It's not. I don't think the COVID is necessarily over yet. We might be hit by whatever shit. I think the COVID was just an exercise for us for something much worse that will come in upcoming years. And I'm not saying that as a pessimist. I think that's kind of very potential reality, and I'm not scared about that. So whatever comes, and I try to effect on the things I can change, and not to worry about things that I can't do anything about. So, but now I really hope that things would go with touring wise would go back to normal. Somehow that we would be able to go into all places. But you know, whatever can happen. Now started the fucking war in Europe, and we had to cancel a lot of shows. We were supposed to play in Kiev, in Moscow, in St. Petersburg, in Minsk, but fuck that. You know, it's not gonna happen. So so much shit is going on, and so it's I don't even try to predict the future. There's been last 2 years been coming so much shit into the house, you know. So it is what it is.
It's what it is.
And
exactly.
it will be what it will be.
EICCA, you were talking about just so fast about coming up album, a new album. I mean, are you already working on it?
We are not working on the new album yet, but we've been recording some songs. So like we have released now, this I'll Get Through It. We have some other songs in progress. We have finished already 3 songs. It's kind of an EP of 3 songs, which are like one type of thing. And so our aim is to release new songs constantly. We have started to talk about and think about what the next album could be. So probably we are starting to head towards that while we are touring. But it took time. COVID time wasn't very productive. It was we just released a new album, so there was no motivation, and never you all the time expected, okay, this is going to be over in half a year. You know, we all the time postponed the shows, the tour. We canceled 2020. We canceled 100 shows because we played 1 show of the Cell Zero tour, and then everything was canceled. But they've been like pushed all the time, so you have been having the feeling that okay, the tour is starting in half a year, and then it doesn't start, so it doesn't really motivate you. Oh, let's get excited to make a new album. Also financially, you know, you need to get the money to make a new album, and before tour you only spend money. You make the album, you do the pre-production for the tour and everything, and suddenly the tour doesn't start and there's no money coming in. So it's complex, but we have plans for new music all the time.
Great.
It will be so great to see you again and to hear from your music. And also, we will be so great to see you here in Latin America soon. And thank you, Jess, for your time and for this little conversation. And something that you want to close for all our Headbangers Latin America audience that you want to say?
Apocalyptica loves Latin America. And I hope everybody is doing well, and I can't wait. I know there are already starting some discussions on finding possibilities to tour Latin America. It won't be most likely not this year, but hopefully next year we will be able to set up a proper tour to cover the whole continent. So very much looking forward. Thank you for everybody for supporting us and staying with us, being important fans for us, because that's why we do this. We make you happy because you make us happy. Thank you so much.